Another possession game, another opportunity for our team to learn how to win and close games late. And credit to our players for making the plays late. Especially, I thought Yor was really, really active defensively and helped seal the game for us. I thought Ice was good, even after the late turnover he had where he dropped his head and after missing free throws. Those are moments that those guys would not have been able to overcome a year ago. But you can see their growth, and I'm excited to get out of here 5-0.
Mike, obviously NCAA notice of allegations came out today. Can you kind of expand your thoughts and reaction?
Yeah, finally I can. It's been September 26th of 2017. I had yet to coach a practice, and this has been hanging over our program since then. There were a lot of options of the outcome between then and now. And I think on a range of one being the worst, we have to disband our program. There's a bunch of bad people doing a bunch of bad things all the time. And 100 being Oklahoma State wasn't involved at all, and we know that's not the case. I think we're probably, considering what I read when I got the notice yesterday, we're probably in the 95, 96 range in terms of what I feel. I'm not taking it lightly, but considering where I was at that time to where I am now, I feel good that I don't think that I read anything in the notice that I didn't know that day or in immediate time afterwards. So it's an opportunity for us to get closer to the end. And I'm looking forward to the day where I can actually coach a game and practice and recruit without this stuff hanging over our heads. And obviously we're closer to being able to do that.
How much has it hung over your head? I mean, it's kind of in the background, but it's not talked about a ton either. But how much has it been over your head?
It may not be talked about amongst our fans and national media, but it's talked about in coaching and recruiting and not making any excuses. I think our staff has done a great job overcoming a lot of some of the negativity that we've had to deal with. But the truth is, when this happens, people use it against you. And I'm glad again that we can now say, okay, here's what the NCAA alleges happened. I'm not sure we're disputing any of it, and we look forward to going in front of them and explaining that here's what we think is a proper consequence of those actions.
What has been your message to recruits for the last 2 years?
I always felt good about where we were. We obviously were we worked very closely with the FBI first because the NCAA couldn't even do an investigation until the FBI finished theirs. And when I knew how narrow the scope was with it as it relates to our program, if no players here that were part of it, or we have nobody on our staff that's been involved outside of it. My message has always been just have faith in us. That I'm being honest with you. I wasn't involved. My name's not mentioned at all. I think that's important, and no one else is as well. And so we don't anticipate this being something that is a long-term negative. Is it good news? Probably not. It's probably never good news to get a notice of allegations, but it's probably the best of bad news that we could get considering the circumstances.
Do you kind of feel, I don't know, a sense of relief is the right word? I mean, because it's not over, but is there a little bit of that?
Well, I have not been able to do what I'm doing now, right? I couldn't even speak about it. And this is what I've known all along. So yeah, there is a little bit of relief that you can ask me a question. I can honestly say I got the document. It took me 4 minutes and 15 seconds to carefully read through this thing. That's it. And there's one allegation, and it involves no one that's a part of our program now.
You mentioned recruiting a little bit. Is that something that you bring up right away? Is it something you kind of like wait with?
It depends where you are. Every situation is different. It's important that people know that they can trust us, and how they trust you is to be transparent and open and honest about what's going on. It's been the same for them. I haven't been able to discuss even the facts. So there's been a lot of speculation, essentially, that we've been dealing with coming from other schools. Well, if this happened here, imagine what's going to happen here. Well, what's happened here is now public knowledge. And I think it's safe to say that we'll move forward in the process feeling like we're in a pretty good position.
Reports came out that you want to get the hearing. I don't know if this is a you thing, but get the hearing done within the season. Do you have anything that you can say about that?
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm obviously not in any control of it. We want it to be something that we don't have to deal with as soon as possible. All right. So, however that happens, I'm up for. I think from the very beginning, I remember sitting out there in that court not long after September 26th and trying to answer questions at the time when there was no information available. So now that we are closer to the end, I'm looking forward to the final closure of it.
You talked about your maturity. What do you think is one way or one of the biggest ways that you've seen his evolution from last year to this year?
I think he's been able to stay away from cheap fouls a little bit better earlier in this season. He still picks up some, but not nearly at the rate. I think at this time last year, 5 games into our season, he was averaging like 8.5 fouls per 40 minutes. And so he wasn't playing close to 40 minutes. And I think he's been, what did he play tonight? I think he's been over 30 3 times in 5 games, which never happened at this point. So just him understanding his value to our team and staying away from those. But also I think we can see his offensive game developing as well. He's playing with more confidence in there, playing better on balance, and obviously being as effective as he was on the defensive end in terms of being a rim protector.
Without Caleb, without Hitty, and with a team that likes to get to the foul line, how important was it for him to stay out of foul trouble tonight?
It was huge. We were obviously limited in that position. We didn't know about Caleb until this morning. Those things happen. It's why you want to have depth as much as possible. Sicknesses. So basketball season's played through the winter, and something's going around town. My kids had it, but he woke up with a 103-degree temperature, and we just told him, hey, just stay in bed. We'll figure it out. But kudos to Jonathan. I thought he came in and brought some great energy. He got some good looks, didn't go in. We're still trying to build his confidence. But I thought yours availability for that amount of time was really critical for us.
Struggled from the foul line tonight, but it's really just your and Ice. But they filled the stat sheet in so many other areas. Just how do you go about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't really get my hand on it. I feel like we're a good shooting team. I really do. And twice in a row, we just haven't made shots, and I feel like we've gotten good looks too. So I need to maybe reevaluate the rhythm that we're shooting them with. But the free throw line, it's just a concentration thing. Ice beats himself up over it pretty good. I got confidence that he'll bounce back and be ready to play in the next game. But it's something we certainly need to address. We can't shoot that poorly, especially in close games, and feel confident that we're going to win. Now, we've been fortunate the last couple that we've been able to win. Thomas got there 5 times, probably a career high for him. But Lindy stepped up there and missed one. It was, kind of one of those deals. The ball just wasn't going in for us consistently.
Is the shooting a concern as you get ready to hit the road for some tough opponents in Brooklyn?
Not necessarily. I mean, we are who we are, right? I anticipate Syracuse will play a lot of zone. That's my guess. I don't know why. I don't know why I think that, but I think Syracuse probably going to play zone. We'll have to make some shots against them, and if we don't, we're going to have a hard time winning. So we'll take off tomorrow because it's mandated in the NCAA, but we'll come back Sunday and we'll do what we do. We'll practice hard and prepare for the next opportunity we can go compete.
They showed you guys a zone, a handful of possessions. Is with your freshmen out there, how do you think they kind of handled that?
Not very good, and that's okay. These are all good things in my mind, especially when they come in and win, right? And I said this before, give me all these 2, 3, 4 possession games this time of year, because I know for a fact when the calendar turns, that's what we're dealing with. I know how much you guys study the numbers, but the Big 12 is the most competitive basketball league in the country. It's been that way for about 6 years. And how they measure that is games decided by 5 points or less or in overtime. That's our league every year. So these games will help us have some experience going into that. And that's why we build the schedule the way we do.
Is there any concern that you guys haven't put one of these teams fully away at home yet?
Not really, not at all. And again, I get it. I understand our fans would like to see us just win by 30 and run away, and maybe everybody plays a little bit more. I don't know if that's necessarily good for this group. I think this group needs these games. It's why we built the schedule the way we did. We knew Western Michigan was good. We knew College of Charleston was good. We knew all these teams that we're going to play early on are going to be teams that we believe are going to help us later in the year. A win against Western Michigan, I think, is going to hold up later. A win on the road at Charleston is going to hold up. So now when you get into league and you're battling every day just to get a win, you've helped yourself in the non-conference. So.
Can you talk about Amagriff tonight? Obviously, it wasn't his best statistical game, but he did have some big rebounds there at the end for you to help you guys put this one away. Can you talk about his performance tonight?
I thought Cam's energy was much better than it has been. His activity level, he was back to himself, chasing down balls, had a huge save late in the game. Basically, that was the sealer on that rebound. I believe it was on a free throw. And so that's what we need from him. Cam's going to get his baskets off offensive rebounds in transition. Eventually, his threes, he's shooting good threes. They're coming off penetration and kickouts. I don't feel like he's hunting bad shots. So I feel confident eventually he'll continue to practice it and get in a good rhythm. But we need him to be an energy guy. We need him to set the example for our freshmen on how hard exactly it takes, how hard you have to play to have success, especially once we get to conference play.
You had 6 players with at least 2 offensive rebounds. How big was that tonight, especially on the day where shots aren't falling as much as you
It's
want?
huge. We talked about wanting to see if we could dominate the glass. We've shown we could score inside. We haven't shown we can make shots consistently from the outside. And we've shown that we're a team that has multiple people who can help on a given night. Tonight was Yor, who pretty much was the man of the hour. But we had contribution from a lot of other guys. Keelan Boone has 6 rebounds in the first half in less than 7 minutes. I think that set the tone for, again, his mind was in the right place, that he was coming in to try to make a difference to our team and not without necessarily scoring a bunch of points. So the more we can get everybody buying into that, the more opportunities we're going to have success moving forward.
You guys announced the signing of Montrell Pena this week. Just what do you like about him?
Oh, man, he's 6'10", he's got a 7'2" wingspan, so that's where it starts for me. Length, athleticism, depth. In my mind, he's kind of a combination of Hitty and Caleb. Pretty skilled player, can shoot from the outside a little bit better probably than Caleb does. Not quite as good as Hitty, but he's got the rangy length and rim protection ability like Caleb. So, again, just building, man. Our goal every year is to put the best class we can together. We feel like if we put 3 or 4 really good classes together back to back, and now we feel like we've got 2 for sure, that we're talking about being contenders nationally on a consistent basis.
Is this a Cannon thing, or how long have you been after him?
So I recruited I didn't recruit Montrell quite as long as I recruited Cade, but I did recruit Montrell before I hired Cannon. Obviously, had a relationship with him. He played on the Drive Nation team that Cannon coached when Cade was also on 16 under. So those guys are really good friends. And obviously, Rondell knows them. They all play together. So there is a relationship factor. So yeah, I mean, it all works together.
You mentioned his height. Just based off highlight tapes, he seems to have a pretty good leaping ability too.
Yes, very, very good athlete, very fluid athlete. He's got to get a little stronger, but that's part of our job. That's why we pay a strength and conditioning coach to help fix these guys' bodies as best as we can, one way or another.
I don't know if we'll see you again before you guys leave, but there's a chance you guys match up against Cujo.
Yeah.
Is that exciting for you? Is that weird at all?
I mean, I'm excited that he's playing. It's an opportunity for him to finish his career, hopefully on a positive note. Yeah, I guess maybe it was a mixed bag here for him. I like to feel like maybe we helped him grow a little bit. But I'm excited that he's going to have an opportunity in his last year to play. If we play him, I'm certainly going to hope we win. But other than that, I want to see the kid have a good year.